Look at a swinging pendulum. Newton's second law forces us to track the tension vector of the rigid rod, constantly recalculating its direction and magnitude at every infinitesimal point of the arc. But there is a coordinate-free way to map this exact motion using a single scalar field. This is the Lagrangian, defined as L equals T minus V, where T is kinetic energy and V is potential energy. Instead of balancing forces, we map a landscape where motion is resolved by finding a path across a geometric surface. But why does subtracting these two energies reveal the true trajectory of a physical system rather than adding them? To build immediate intuition, imagine a skateboarder on a U-shaped ramp. At the very top, the skateboarder has maximum potential energy, V, and zero kinetic energy, T. At the lowest point of the ramp, the potential energy drops to zero, and kinetic energy reaches its maximum. If we look at the difference, T minus V, we get a value that continuously fluctuates as the skateboarder moves. This fluctuation is not random. It acts like a geometric compass pointing along the trajectory. How do we translate this simple up and down trade-off into a rigorous mathematical space where we can calculate any motion? To map this trade-off, we construct a geometric coordinate system called configuration space. For a single particle on a line, this space has two primary axes, the position, x, and the velocity, dot x. Every state of the system at any given microsecond is a single point on this coordinate plane. As the object moves, it traces a continuous curve through this space. The Lagrangian function, which depends on position and velocity, assigns a single numerical value to every single coordinate point on this plane, creating a multi-dimensional energy surface. What does this surface actually look like when we plot our kinetic and potential formulas onto it? Let us look directly at the math. Kinetic energy is represented as T equals 1/2 mx dot squared, which geometrically represents a parabolic valley along the velocity axis, dot x. Potential energy, V, depends entirely on position, representing the physical landscape, like a hill or a gravity well. When we write L equals T minus V, we are taking the parabolic valley of velocity and subtracting the shape of the physical landscape. This operation warps our configuration space, generating a customized mathematical terrain where the slopes represent the physical forces acting on the object. But how does this specific subtraction process differ from simply adding the energies together? If we were to add kinetic and potential energy, we would get the total energy of the system, the Hamiltonian, H equals T plus V. Geometrically, for a closed system, the Hamiltonian is a flat plane because total energy remains completely constant throughout the motion. It tells us which states are accessible, but it does not specify the direction of the path. By subtracting potential energy instead of adding it, the Lagrangian, L equals T minus V, measures the dynamic imbalance between motion and position. The regions where the Lagrangian is highly positive or highly negative dictate how the system accelerates.
But how does this mathematical landscape help us solve complex systems that Newton's equations struggle to calculate? In Newtonian mechanics, if a bead is sliding on a curved wire, you must calculate the normal constraint force exerted by the wire at every point. With the Lagrangian, we can ignore these constraint forces completely. Because energy is a scalar quantity, it does not care about the orientation of your coordinate axes. We can describe the position x using any generalized coordinate we want, such as an angle θ or a curve length s. The geometry of the Lagrangian surface remains invariant under these coordinate transformations, turning complex vector algebra into straightforward calculus. But how do we use this invariant surface to determine the exact path the object will choose to take? To find the actual path, we must look at how the Lagrangian changes. This is determined by its partial derivatives. The derivative with respect to position measures the slope of the potential energy landscape, which corresponds to the force acting on the object. The derivative with respect to velocity measures the slope along the kinetic energy axis, which yields the momentum. By analyzing these slopes at every point, we can construct a map of gradients across our state space. But how do these individual local gradients combine to govern the motion of the system over an entire interval of time? As time progresses, our system moves from a starting point in configuration space to an ending point. There are infinite theoretical paths the system could take between these 2 points. For each path, we can calculate the value of the Lagrangian at every instant. Some paths require rapid acceleration through high potential zones, while others linger in high kinetic zones. If we plot these values over time, we get a unique curve for each possible trajectory. But how do we mathematically compare these infinite potential curves to identify the one path that physical reality actually selects? We compare these paths by calculating the area under the curve of the Lagrangian over time. This integral, s equals the integral of L dt, is called the action. Each theoretical path yields a single number for the action. If we deform the path slightly, the value of the action changes. Geometrically, we are looking for a path where a tiny change in the trajectory results in zero change to the action. This means we are searching for a flat region or a stationary point on the action landscape. Why does nature consistently select the path that keeps this specific integral stationary? This optimization process means that a physical system does not just react to forces step by step. It behaves as if it is minimizing a global geometric quantity over its entire journey. It is a striking transition from local pushes and pulls to global path optimization. But this raises a profound paradox. How can a particle know which path yields the stationary action before it even begins its journey? To resolve this mystery and see how nature calculates the perfect curve, click on the next video, Principle of Least Action Visualized: Why Objects Follow This Exact Curve.